What's up, everyone? Looks like the August sneak peek is out, and we will be getting what we already know, Kamala Khan's uniform from Inhuman Adelan Rising. But here's the sneak peek post from the Netmarble official forums here. Greetings, 8-inch. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. One by one, additional heroes of the August update, which our agents have eagerly waiting, will join the Inhuman versus X-Men conflict. You've already seen this in-game. Clues for the first hero will be lending an extra stretchy hand. We will now reveal Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan's new look. So given from just this little sneak peek here, one by one additional heroes, I'm thinking that week by week we'll actually get something new. So next week will probably be Iceman, and then after that we'll probably get the long speculated Storm tier 3 that we've been seeing everywhere. So that's likely to be the case of what we got going on. But let's take a look at where this comic book actually, this look from the comics actually comes from. Adelan Rising, Ms. Marvel, for the most part, is kind of like a pawn. She's not really that big of a character, so it's interesting that they chose this character in general. She's much older than she normally is in the 616 universe, but she definitely has much more dramatic shape-shifting powers. This is actually her. This is not actually Anthony Stark. She's able to shapeshift so much that she can change her face entirely instead of just, you know, stretching her limbs like we've seen. She's actually to do a full shapeshift. Like I said, she's more of a pawn of Medusa in this storyline. This storyline really kind of pits Medusa against Black Bolt. Again, this is a separate universe. It's Battle World, Secret Wars. God Emperor Dr. Doom is ruling over everything, but he essentially pits new Adelan, run by Medusa, against old Adelan, which is run by Black Bolt. This is actually where we get the introduction of the Quiet Room, which we actually see in the sneak peek, and we'll go back to. But the Quiet Room is where essentially Black Bolt is able to kind of have people come in and freely discuss without any repercussion, whether they're plotting something, whether they're trying to, you know, create a takeover, whatever it may be. That's something that just is happening in this Quiet Room, and he kind of allows it to happen. He's kind of the ruler of that arena. But as we continue along this comic, given this look here, Ms. Marvel is being asked to take a look into the basement because I think they kind of know that she's almost spying on Black Bolt for Medusa. But she wanders into the basement. She shapes back into normal. Her super extra stretchy limbs. But you can tell that this is where the uniform is coming from. The very, very all dark look. The classic Ms. Marvel lightning bolt on the chest. The mask. The shoulder insignias. That kind of thing. But let's actually take a look at the video that they posted and let's see what other details we have. Let's see if we can just catch it in its full glory here. Pretty solid. Oh, here's the introduction of the Quiet Room. Again, this is almost the first instance of where we get this from. That fact that Black Bolt is kind of ruling over this arena. So here, Ms. Marvel is seen in going to infiltrate the room itself. So she's got those shoulder pads in that last little bit there. And that's a part of this comic book look. She's got the gloves, so we don't really see the front of her, but we'll see that a little bit later on. I do love this look. somebody said something about this being a sneak peek, this little background here. That has almost alluding to a storm or something like that. But this is actually just the insignia on her chest. That's classic Miss Marvel. That's what we always get from Miss Marvel, whether it be Carol Danvers or Kamala Khan. But this look overall does come from 90s trading cards. Actually, the 90s trading cards of the X-Men featured this very, very templated look. Let's see if I can grab one for you, but we'll go from there. We've got some uniform options here, and this is where the big but comes in. This is, for the most part, very, very free-to-play friendly because Kamala Khan is free-to-play friendly, right? But this is what I take issue with. These two characters. These two are not easily farmable. This one, obviously, you pay money for. You can get it from Dimensional Rift, but it's good luck trying to farm up enough for the uniform itself to increase her native stats here. Nightcrawler, although really not a good character, yes, this is a fantastic uniform. All these uniforms, well, except for Magneto's, these uniforms are the best uniform for the characters. Absolutely, I agree with that. But the usage of Nightcrawler is not very high. This Magneto uniform doesn't get used at all. It's actually quite terrible. His new all-white one is better off. Proxima obviously comes from Endgame, and then Hydrocap is changed him into a blast character, but is the best uniform for him because of the force skill during his striker and animation, and a number of other details that come with that kit. In terms of active skill effects, if we look at this of what we've got going on, 50% recovery rate is an increase on what she normally has, so that's definitely going to keep her alive. Up to 50% all defense down is obviously brand new meta. With us being in this all defensive down meta that we're seeing, world bosses are going to be an easy clear for her doing this 50% down. Obviously increasing it with Voodoo, Enchantress, that kind of thing is going to push it even higher. 5 seconds of immunity is going to increase her survivability, which she did sorely need. She, though, has a heal on her other uniforms. She just didn't stay alive very much. So this is obviously a nice attack increase. Defense and crit rate, 35% is a little bit higher than what we're normally seeing, but it is a nice increase for her. So I would imagine that world bosses will be pretty easy for her. Quick tip, defensive down all bosses. This is a nice little tidbit for non-veteran players, I guess. Would be nice to get this information if they don't know. Try our leader with increased debuff effects. So they have White Fox here. Not sure if they're actually going to grant her leadership. The leadership tag, that'll be interesting to see. But yes, increasing debuff effects for her would be great. Dr. Voodoo, Enchantress, as previously mentioned, those will be very, very good for her. They're, interestingly enough, doing this at stage 50, so they must have got the memo of the get good comment. And then they give a little skill rotation, which is interesting. Open the attack with 5, apply your defensive down, buff attacks, defense, and crit rate, and then continue forward from there. That's kind of cool. Follow with skill 4, so they're suggesting rotation is 5, 4, and then I think it's 3. No, just 5, 4. 4 skill down will continue to deal damage when you cancel it. Oh, that's interesting. So they're giving you little tidbits on how to actually play the character. Interesting. Finally, yeah. So they're using the basic of what we've seen so far, 5, 4, 3. So that's interesting that they're suggesting that playstyle. She does look good in this update. I mean, it's a really solid update for her. So again, I mean, across the board, probably a top-to-down upgrade for her. Should be able to get into the world boss meta. Maybe she's got some PvP action just based on those stat increases that we see in the survivability. We'll see how many iframes she has. But we have this announcement of the new uniform and the event coming as well. Let's see. So new event, obviously 40% off, discounted price. Takes her from superhero. Doesn't see anything. Uniform options, 15% on cross board. Uniform effect, 50% on increased attack and HP. Super armor, all defense, 50% up. Nice. I like that they gave this. They changed skill. This is a very solid graphic to have. So 10% recovery rate's good. Tier 2, 30% recovery rate. That's awesome. And then we look at the stun that's here. That's great. Colossal Clash, 50% increased recovery rate. That's awesome. Stun and fracture. Guard break, or guard against 8 hits. It's awesome. Increased defense, speed, attacks, all 25%. That's the 25% bonus that we saw. Not the crit rate is not listed here. Maybe that's elsewhere. Anyway, just a little bit of shock damage. This is probably throwing down the stop signs, just the same as we've seen from like Doc Ock and Spider-Man, that kind of thing. Starts off at 5% defense down, stacks up to 50%, just what we've seen. 100% immunity for the 5 seconds, which is great. Another increased defense to all attacks. Here's the crit rate by 35%. Oh, here's the other. Oh, so she gets basically 2 buffs. But here's where the caveat of this becomes a problem. Like we had mentioned, the uniform is Nimrod, Sentinel, and Nightcrawler, and Magneto. These 3 uniforms, this uniform, yes, attainable with crystals, but leveling it up is going to be difficult because it's a premium character. Nightcrawler's unit bios are not readily available, so that makes it a little bit difficult as well. And then Magneto, this uniform just is terrible for Magneto. So it's kind of free-to-play friendly, yes, but is it worth all of the cost to get her to unlock her full potential, right? So that's where we're kind of caveat. This also announces the token events. By all means, play this every single day so you can get your tier 2 mega ticket, or if you want to flex, you take your Sonic Scream. But otherwise, I mean, for the most part, this is a pretty standard token event. But yeah, that's kind of where I wanted to. We've got a couple of other things that coming up, so we want to make sure that we're aware of is the combine chance up for Odin's Blessings. So this one is whenever you take 2 5-star Uru and combine it to get a 6-star Uru, your chance to get a blessing is actually increased, so that's always nice. It's character ranking event. If those that got Maximus or Dazzler, crystal rewards for Dazzler, Maximus gear upgrades. And then we've got the Battle World Relay, which actually started today as well. Those 2 pieces, I think Black Bolt is going to be an actually easier run to climb than Medusa. Medusa actually has very strong PvP skills. Obviously, with Black Bolt's PvP is not very great. It's not enough long enough iframes, not enough long enough animations. So, but at the same time, having to deal with males, you're going to have to run into guys like Silver Surfer, guys like Immortal Hulk. So that might be problematic. This one, I mean, it's just universal characters, but you're still going to have to deal with the Jean Greys, the Silver Surfers. I always think that the rank 1 blank Antimatter is not all that great, whereas this is a little bit more harder to come by. I'll be skipping out on the Dazzler one because I don't have her as a required hero, but I will be partaking in this one and see what we get out of that. But we're going to wrap it up right here. What do you guys think? Are you guys picking up this uniform? Is this something you're excited about? From all accounts, for the most part, it should be pretty good. Just defensive down, all those stat buffs, plus the increased healing, she should be fairly powerful. The only caveat is that long-term cost, whether or not you'll be able to pick up the subsequent uniforms to kind of take her native stats all the way up. But for the most part, should be a good solid upgrade for her. Let me know if you guys are picking it up. Let me know if you guys have any questions. As always, thank you for watching, subscribing, commenting, and following. It's always greatly appreciated. But until next time, be well, be safe, and I'll see you soon.